Hello, Aries. If I told you today that just 5 numbers could open a door to luck, to peace, and even to the awakening of your soul, would you believe me? These aren't random numbers. They are cosmic codes, woven from astrology, from Buddhist teachings, and from the wisdom of ancient masters. And if you stay with me until the very end, you may discover that one of these numbers is the very key you've been waiting for all along. So let the journey begin. And the very first number will lay down the solid foundation for the fire that burns within Aries. Aries, imagine yourself sitting in a quiet room. Outside, the September sky stretches wide and clear, yet hidden within it are the secret movements of the universe. There are moments in life when we feel it so clearly that we are not alone, that something greater is whispering softly to us. And if I told you today that just 5 numbers could become the key to unlock your destiny, guiding you toward prosperity, peace, and even the awakening of your soul, would you be ready to listen? These numbers are not chosen at random. They rise from the flow of Buddhist teachings, the heartbeat of astrology, the wisdom of numerology, and the echoes of prophecy spoken across centuries. They have been used by ancient masters as maps to guide the spirit. And now, they come as a message meant just for you, the pioneer fire of the zodiac. I believe true luck is never blind chance. It is the perfect meeting point between our soul and the greater flow of the cosmos. When your heart opens, when your mind is ready, you begin to notice that the universe always leaves signs, hidden codes, to help you walk more steadily on your path. Aries, pay attention. How many times in your life have you stumbled on a number repeating itself, making you pause, making you wonder if it was a message? Perhaps one of these 5 numbers I'm about to share will touch you in that very way. It may unlock a new door, a path you've been searching for all along without even realizing it. I want you to stay with me until the very end of this journey, because the final number may not only carry luck, it may give you the feeling that the universe is lifting you, protecting you, guiding you in the days ahead. And I want to hear your story too. Share with me in the comments. What number has walked beside you in life? What number has felt like a companion on your journey? Your story could become a light for someone else who feels lost in the dark. This is not just a list. This is a spiritual journey. Each number is like a step, a stair, taking you closer to balance between the material and the spiritual, between dreams and reality, between the self and the vast river of the universe. You may feel as though you're standing at a crossroads. One path is safe, familiar. The other leads to a mysterious new land. These 5 numbers are like small lanterns guiding each step, reminding you that you are not walking in darkness but being led by a greater light. Aries, your heart has always craved challenges, always wanted to conquer, always rushed forward. But remember this: a flame can only burn long when it's fed by a strong foundation. And among these 5 sacred numbers, there is one that carries the special energy of laying down that foundation for you. Take a deep breath. Feel the rhythm of your own heartbeat. Imagine each number not just written on paper, but vibrating like invisible frequencies all around you. When you open your heart, you will see the universe has never stopped sending you signs. And today, those signs appear as the lucky numbers chosen for you this September. Don't rush. Let your heart lead you deeper, because this journey is not only about luck, it is about healing, about lessons, about how you face yourself. And now, as you're ready to step into the first layer of this story, let me take you to the opening number, the number that will lay down the solid foundation for the Aries fire. The number 22. In the world of numbers, 22 is often spoken of as a cornerstone. It isn't just 2 digits standing side by side. It is a symbol of stability, of discipline, and of the steady strength that can turn dreams into reality. They say 22 belongs to the builders, to those souls who know how to lay a foundation before raising a castle, who know to plant seeds before waiting for the flowers to bloom. For those who carry a fiery spirit, always rushing forward, no matter the obstacles, no matter what hasn't been set in place. 22 comes as a gentle reminder. No flame can burn long without a solid base to hold it. A fire can be brilliant, even consuming, but without stability, it can just as quickly be blown out by an unexpected gust of life. I still remember the days of youth, when we all chose the fastest road to the finish line. Everyone wanted to see results quickly, to taste success as soon as possible. But 22 teaches us the shortest road is not always the strongest one. A house only stands beautiful when it's built on a firm foundation, and a life only feels truly peaceful when it's grounded in lasting values. Perhaps the greatest gift of 22 is not about what it helps us achieve, but how it teaches us to live, to be patient, to tame the restless flame and feed a quieter, steadier strength. In a world full of noise and constant rush, 22 feels like a deep breath, a pause, a moment to ground yourself and start laying down bricks for the future. Sometimes, patience is the flame that truly keeps you alive, because the storms of life never announce themselves, and only those with foundations strong enough can stand steady in the winds. 22 whispers that every great achievement begins with small, deliberate steps, repeated with persistence and direction. I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, are you building a foundation strong enough for your life? That foundation might be discipline in your work, perseverance in your learning, or simply the steady values you choose to live by. Share with me in the comments, because your story might just be the spark of inspiration for someone else who is still searching for their way forward. Remember this, 22 is not the number of rushing. It is the number of long vision, of the union between reality and dreams. It invites you not to fear moving slowly, because slow and steady will still carry you to your destination, while haste may leave you lost. 22 whispers. If you want a life of true depth and meaning, begin by laying down honest, worthy foundations today. And then, when the foundation is set firm, when your heart has learned to wait with calm, something miraculous happens, because this journey is not only about building, it's about finding the strength to push through the trials ahead. And that is when the number 17 arrives, carrying a different kind of energy, a force to fuel you further down your path. There are numbers that don't just appear for calculation. They become memories. They become anchors that carry a lifetime. 17 is one of those numbers. It isn't as dazzling as a sudden flash of lightning. It isn't as loud as the drumbeat of victory. It is quiet, steady, persistent, like the heartbeat in our chest. The number 17 carries a message of patience, of endurance, of the strength to walk through the hardest bends in the road. If 22 teaches us how to lay the foundation, then 17 teaches us how to keep the rhythm, even when storms rise before us. It reminds us that true success doesn't come from a single burst, but from thousands of small steps, steady, deliberate, repeated day after day. I believe every person has lived through at least one season when giving up felt easier than going on, when you were exhausted, when the road ahead held not a single ray of light. It's in those very moments that 17 whispers. You don't have to run fast. You only have to keep moving. Even one small step forward is proof that the darkness isn't strong enough to swallow your fire. Aries, your true strength is not in speed. It's not in always being first. Your strength is in rising after every fall, brushing the dust from your shoulders, and walking forward with eyes still lit by faith. Every scar along the way is proof that you have already come farther than the version of yourself from yesterday. The world often celebrates the loud victories, but there is another kind of victory, quieter, tougher, more honorable. It is the victory of the self, when you choose to continue instead of giving up. 17 delivers that reminder. It places in your hands the truth that no matter how great the adversity, the will of the human spirit is greater still. If you've ever faced a crisis and it was only persistence that helped you find your way out, then you have felt the power of 17 in your life. I want you to remember one such moment. A time when someone, maybe even you yourself, thought you couldn't go on, but you did. You took one more step. Share that story in the comments, because your experience may be the small lamp that lights the way for someone else lost in the night. 17 doesn't promise the path will be easy. It only promises that if you endure, each step will carry meaning. Every rise after a fall will make you stronger. Every moment of patience will plant a seed deep within. And one day, when you look back, you'll see you've grown far more than you imagined. Think of 17 as a companion walking beside you. It won't push you to run faster, but it will whisper that even the smallest step forward means you're still moving. You're still alive. You're still writing your story. And when that endurance has settled into your heartbeat, when patience has become the light guiding your way, you'll realize this journey needs more than strong legs. It also needs eyes that can see beyond the surface. That's when another number arrives like an unseen guide. Not speaking of physical strength, but of the opening of the soul. That number is 11. There are numbers that carry a gentle light, not explosive, not loud, yet powerful enough to move an entire soul. 11 is one of those numbers. It's called the number of intuition, of awakening, the voice that rises from deep within, the one we often forget in the noise of daily life. 11 is like an invisible doorway, slowly opening, inviting you into a world where reason no longer takes the lead, but the heart, the intuition, the part of the soul that has always known the way. We're taught to look for answers in books, in the advice of elders, in lessons passed down. But I believe there is another kind of wisdom, deeper, more original. It's the wisdom that comes from silence within the soul, when you sit still, when you listen to your own breath, when you let go of the noise around you. 11 appears like a lamp, showing you the path that reason could not see. Aries, remember this. The whisper of your heart often knows the way long before the mind ever figures it out. There will be moments when you stand at a crossroads. On the outside, all logic, all voices, all reasons point one way. But inside, a quiet voice tells you to go the other, if you are brave enough to trust it. You will find that intuition has never once betrayed you. Think back for a moment. Have you ever trusted your intuition, followed a path no one else believed in, and later realized it was the turning point that changed your whole life? If so, share it with me in the comments. Your story might help someone else realize that their inner voice also deserves to be heard. 11 teaches us that true success, true happiness, doesn't just come from reaching external goals. It comes from living in harmony with your soul. When you trust your intuition, you begin to live with depth, in rhythm with your true nature. And the miracle is, when you live from that inner truth, the universe begins to open doors you never expected. Think of 11 as a silent teacher. It doesn't speak much, it doesn't hand you formulas. It simply shows you how to trust the awakening inside. It shows you how to look into stillness for the answers, instead of running outside to search for them. And when you learn to live this way, you step into a higher layer of meaning where every choice isn't just another step, but a harmony with your deeper purpose. Aries is a sign of action, of courage, of blazing trails, but even the strongest warrior needs a guiding light. 11 comes to remind you don't always have to push forward with muscle and force. Sometimes, you just need to sit, close your eyes, and let your heart lead. And strangely enough, when you do, you often find yourself moving faster, going further, because the path you're walking is truly yours. And then, there are times when intuition doesn't just guide us forward, it transforms us completely. Because after hearing that whisper, you realize you are no longer the same person. You change. You shed old skin. You are ready to release what no longer serves you and step into a brand new chapter. And right at that crossing point, between an ending and a beginning, another number is waiting. The number of transformation and rebirth. That number is 29. There are numbers that don't just appear as symbols. They arrive like a wave carrying the energy of transformation. 29 is one of those numbers. It shows up like a doorway opening, sometimes sudden, sometimes frightening, but always carrying the same message. It's time to grow, it's time to let go, it's time to be reborn. 29 holds the energy of big movements, powerful shifts that you cannot avoid. But trust, this change is not an ending. Change is the way the universe teaches us to evolve. Like a sudden rainstorm, it soaks everything you've been clinging to, yet it washes away the dust, leaving the air cleaner, lighter, freer. I've seen so many people afraid when life forces them to release something. A relationship, a job, a habit they thought would stay forever. But when they look back, they realize that very loss created space for something better to appear. That is the lesson of 29. Let what no longer serves you slip away, because the empty space will be filled with something far more beautiful. Aries, your fire was born to burn away the old and ignite a brand new chapter. Don't hold onto the ashes. Don't cling to the fragments that have expired. Let them become soil for the garden of your soul, where new seeds can take root, grow strong, and bloom with life. 29 also reminds us that change is not just outside of us. It's a deep inner shift. When you step out of an old season, your heart learns to be stronger. Your mind learns to listen more deeply. Your spirit learns to trust in what cannot yet be seen. And that is the greatest gift of rebirth. Ask yourself this: If this month you had to release one thing, what would it be? An old belief, fear, a habit that keeps you small. Share it with me, because sometimes just speaking it out loud is already half the journey to freedom. The number 29 doesn't promise that the road will be smooth. It only assures you that every change carries a sacred meaning, like a butterfly breaking free from its cocoon. In the first moment it looks like death, but in truth it is life beginning again. And when you learn to see change through the eyes of gratitude instead of fear, you'll realize you are no longer being dragged by life. You're dancing with it, a dance of growth, of release, and of rebirth. And after each transformation, what the soul longs for most is not more upheaval, but balance. When the old has burned away, when the fire has driven out the shadows, you will feel the need for an anchor, a steady ground to move forward. And that is the gift carried by the number 8. In the endless turning of the universe, there is one number seen as the symbol of absolute fairness, the number 8. It appears like two circles joined together, no beginning, no end, an eternal flow of cause and effect, of sowing and reaping, of action and consequence. 8 doesn't just speak of money or material wealth. It speaks of balance, deep within the soul, and in the way we choose to live our lives. The number 8 reminds us every action you plant today is already writing the destiny of tomorrow. No word, no thought, no choice is meaningless. Everything leaves its mark, like a seed pressed into the soil, quietly waiting to break through when its season comes. You cannot force a grain of rice to ripen in a single day, but you can trust that if you plant the right seed and tend it with care, the harvest will arrive sooner or later. I've seen many people spend their whole lives chasing results, trying to control every detail, only to find themselves burned out. 8 teaches a truth that is simple yet profound. You don't have to control everything. Just plant the right seeds, and the fruit will come in its season. That is the lesson of karma, a law without bias, without exception, yet always fair. Aries, remember this. Your strength is not only in bold action, but in the integrity behind your action. The world does not just record what you do, it records why you do it. An act born of love leaves a mark far different than one born of fear or greed. And somehow, the universe always returns to you the very frequency you send out. The number 8 also speaks of lasting prosperity. True abundance doesn't come from gathering endlessly, but from living in balance. You can be wealthy in possessions but poor in spirit. Or you can appear modest on the outside, yet be full of joy within. 8 calls us to find that point of balance where the soul is not consumed by ambition, but also does not miss the chance to build a life of fullness and stability. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, do you believe in karma? Do you believe that what you're living today is the result of what you once planted? Share a short answer in the comments, because your reflection may open a new perspective for someone who feels lost in the storms of life. Here's what I want you to remember. Karma is not punishment. Karma is the teacher that helps us grow. When you look back at what once hurt you, you'll see those very wounds carved out the stronger version of who you are today. The number 8 carries that balance, between gain and loss, between giving and receiving, between suffering and peace. And when you walk with integrity, the universe will always send its protection. Not through loud miracles, but through gentle signs, a door opening at just the right time, a person arriving when you most need them, an unseen hand lifting you back to your feet. That is the gift of the number 44, the number of protection and companionship that now awaits us. In the journey of sacred numbers, 44 appears like a promise, an invisible shield sent by the universe to souls who are trying their best to keep moving forward. 44 is not the pounding drum of victory. It's not the blinding flash of something unexpected. It is more like gentle arms wrapping around you on a long, lonely night. A reminder that no matter how strong you are, sometimes you still need an anchor, something to remind you that you are not walking alone. The number 44 is seen as a symbol of protection, companionship, and steady foundation. It is like a home you can return to after a long and weary day. For those who always want to lead, who rush ahead like Aries, 44 is a quiet voice, telling you that you don't have to fight everything on your own, because the universe has already sent unseen allies, forces you may not see but that walk with you every step of the way. I believe every life has at least one moment that makes us pause and think. If not for an invisible hand lifting us up, we would have fallen. a near escape from an accident, an unexpected act of kindness from a stranger, an opportunity opening at the exact moment you felt most hopeless. That is 44. It reminds you that there is always companionship, always protection. You don't need to prove it, you don't even need to see it. But it's there. Aries, when you're tired, remember this: the universe is always walking beside you. The fire within you is strong, but even a fire needs a hearth to keep it warm, needs shelter so it won't be blown out by the storm. 44 is that shelter. It teaches you that strength is not only about standing alone, but also about trusting the support around you, whether it's the love of family, the faith of a friend, or the unseen protection of higher forces. Sometimes, to truly grow, we need to set down the heavy weight of trying to be self-sufficient all the time, and accept that we too need protection. That is the healing message of 44. It whispers you don't have to prove to the world that you are unbreakable. You only need to trust that you are being accompanied. And true strength is knowing when to be brave and when to open your heart to receive help. If you've ever had a moment when you felt someone or something was protecting you, share it in the comments. Because sometimes your story may be the reminder someone else needs, that they are not walking alone, that protection still exists in this world. And then, after journeying through the wisdom of these numbers, after realizing that each number is not just a symbol but a sacred message, what remains is the connection of the heart, and it is right there that a final message awaits you, a gentle closing note for this journey. Thank you, Aries, for walking with me all the way to the very end of this journey. I believe there is no such thing as coincidence, and the fact that you are still here, still listening right now, is proof that the flame of astrology and Buddhist wisdom truly can warm the human heart in our modern world. That flame is not only a symbol of strength and courage, it is also a sign that you are ready to open your heart, ready to receive, ready to live a life with deeper meaning. From the bottom of my heart, I want to leave you with this blessing. May this September bring you good fortune, peace, and even the kind of unexpected opportunities that appear at the exact moment you need them most. Let those opportunities become turning points, opening doors, carrying you closer to the dreams you've quietly held inside. And more than anything, I hope the flame within you is always fed by love and by faith. Love for yourself, love for those close to you, and love for the world around you. Faith that no matter the challenges ahead, the universe is walking beside you, protecting you, guiding you, holding you steady. Keep that flame alive, because your light does more than guide your own steps. It inspires others who may be searching for hope in the dark. So I wish you a September that is whole and abundant, filled with both miraculous surprises and quiet moments of peace. And never forget, the flame within you is one of a kind. It is sacred, and it deserves to shine without end.